Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. I'm Rob Evans, and welcome to Daybreak Plus. We're breaking down all the news you may have missed overnight, and then we're digging deep into what matters to you. And, of course, all of our safety, all of our health. Well, it depends on the weather, right? And the triple-digit temperatures have already come to Central Texas. The deadline for Austin property managers to meet new air conditioning requirements can't come soon enough. So last month, Austin City Council updated requirements that all buildings have to maintain AC systems to keep inside temps no warmer than 85 degrees and at least 15 degrees cooler than outside. But some tenants say that's not enough. The resolution also says open windows are not an adequate substitution for air conditioning. Mayor Pro Tem Vanessa Fuentes, who put this resolution forward, says because of climate change, we are experiencing more severe weather events. She says this is simply a matter of public health and accountability. Take a listen.
If your AC goes out and your landlord is not being responsive in fixing the AC and ensuring that you have cool indoor air, you now have a process and a pathway to have the City of Austin intervene to hold bad landlords accountable.
Now, renter Izzy Cognetti says her family had to stay in a hotel after they experienced ongoing AC issues for weeks. Her home inside was about 85 degrees, which she said was still too hot, before eventually she got moved to a different apartment. She says the heat caused health issues. And while she says it's a step in the right direction, she says temperature requirements should be lower.
And we do have a 8-month-old, so we had to send her to the babysitters for about 2 weeks because she was overheating. It can cause SIDS, like it's a lot of medical conditions that come with an 8-month-old, let alone like adults can get overheated as well.
Now, landlords have until July 10th to make the AC changes. Meanwhile, city leaders encourage people who do not have working ACs to visit the city's cooling centers. And Austin City leaders are urging everybody to take it easy outside and check on those who are most at risk for heat exhaustion. Here is KVUE's Isabella Basco.
It's the kind of weather that Austin Mayor Kirk Watson calls unwelcome and unwanted.
But it's here, and it's a stark reminder that we need to be prepared for what the summer's going to bring.
City and county leaders gathered at Austin City Hall to discuss ways to get prepared for extreme heat. Wes Hopkins is the chief of staff for Austin Travis County EMS.
This is the earliest that we've seen triple-digit heats in approximately 40 years. Everyone is at risk for a heat-related emergency. The very young, the very old, those who are pregnant are especially prone to heat-related illnesses.
Emergency management officials are emphasizing for Central Texans to wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothing and to limit outdoor activities to the early morning or evening hours. And it turns out the measures we take to protect ourselves can also extend to our furry friends.
City and county leaders also stress the need to protect your pets. Find shade whenever you can. If the pavement is too hot for the back of your arm, it's too hot for your pets. And don't forget to bring their water.
Dana Griffin, who moved from Chicago to Central Texas, has learned the hard way what can happen when you don't shield your pets from the sun. His dog Valentine once got sick from the heat.
I don't realize how hot it is. It was about 103, 104, and she's just running herself into the ground. By the time I got home, she was a mess, and she had heat stroke that lasted probably about 3 days. It was tragic.
It's taking care of the companions we love.
We're seeing this earlier, and we're seeing these extreme weather events more frequently,
while also looking out for ourselves and our neighbors. Reporting in Austin, Isabella Basco for KVUE News.
Now, city buildings, including parks and rec centers and public libraries, will operate as cooling centers during the day. Tomorrow, you're allowed to bring pets with you as well. For more resources, it's also today, by the way. For more resources on dealing with this extreme heat, visit KVUE.com. And speaking of the extreme heats, let's get to weather right now and traffic. Starting with KC, though. I can't believe some of the temps, like actual air temps you're talking about.
Yes, yeah. I mean, these aren't even our heat index values, but we will be close to about 104 degrees today. Some areas across Central Texas could be as hot as 108 degrees by this afternoon. This is a look at our heat risk potential. This is basically just a breakdown of how easy it would be to have a heat-related illness today. And today we have that major risk across most of our area as we reach the peak of the heat out of the week. That means anyone without adequate hydration or cooling will be susceptible susceptible to those heat-related illnesses. Now tomorrow, we still will have that across the area, the orange, moderate to major, some red here, but notice we start to see some slow improvements, and that's going to be a very slow trend as we head into the weekend. We will see a little bit of a cool down beginning after today. It's just going to be a very slow process as we head into the weekend and even into early next week. What we're also going to notice are these very mild mornings sticking around. We don't see much relief in the overnight time frame. That's one of the reasons why this is kind of some dangerous heat for us across the area. Temperatures each night only set to cool down to the middle 70s. A big difference from what we had earlier this work week, Monday morning, if you remember that, where we woke up to temperatures in the 40s and 50s. 71 degrees right now. We are currently dealing with some mid-level clouds currently pushing through the area. You can see that out across the University of Texas. There is our hazy looking sunrise out across North Austin from our KVUE rooftop camera. Temperatures elsewhere, 60s in Llano and Fredericksburg. Those are kind of our cool spots on the map. Elsewhere, we're currently sitting in those lower 70s across the coastal plains and the I-35 corridor. Winds not very gusty at the moment, but boy, did we have those pick up yesterday, and they're back out of the southwest today, which means we're really going to start to feel some of the hottest of the air being funneled in from the Mexican plateau and leading to what will be the hottest day out of the week. With the drier air moving in and those winds, it'll still be a little bit gusty at times today. We do have a high fire risk out across at least the hill country, moderate elsewhere, but this is one of the things we'll have to watch as we head through the next several days, as we're going to see the extreme heat paired with not much rain. In fact, 7-day rainfall, we're only looking at on average a measly about 1/100 of an inch to up to a couple tenths of an inch across the area, which is not great news, especially considering May is one of our wettest months on average. I do think by the weekend we're going to start to see some of those rain chances back in our area Saturday and Sunday, while we still remain mainly dry. A couple of those showers will work their way back into the area. That will be coupled though with some higher humidity. Heat alerts today. We saw our heat advisory upgrade to an extreme heat warning that's out across most of the KVUE viewing area for all those areas in this fuchsia shade here. It's from 1 o'clock through 9 p.m. today. Dangerously hot conditions, heat advisories for those areas in orange. And again, we're not going to be looking at much of a quick improvement, I should say, over about the next 10 days. Even when we head into Friday, while I do expect we'll be losing those triple-digit temperatures for a lot of us, we still will stay very close to the 100-degree mark into the weekend, early next week. It's really not until about late next week that we will start to see those temperatures approach a little bit closer to our average, but still remaining well above that. So we are locked into this very hot weather pattern. As for today, some passing clouds overhead will continue to keep things dry. Those winds a little bit breezy at times out of the southwest, helping these temperatures soar to 101 in Georgetown, 103 in San Marcos. It could be as hot as 108 degrees in Llano, upper 90s for Cameron towards Giddings, and also out towards areas like Fayette County. Wednesday night tonight, 70s, waking up again for tomorrow morning. Another very mild start to what's going to be another hot day for tomorrow. We will trim our temperature down by a few degrees for tomorrow. Not quite as hot, but many of us still reaching to 100 degrees yet again. Friday, less of us will be back into those upper 90s, but I still think we'll be looking at record tying or record breaking highs. Today should be shattering that record. Thursday easily breaking the record. Friday, a high of 98 degrees will get close to tying a record, and Saturday should be breaking yet another record, or rather tying yet another record. Sunday on track to tie another daily record. Monday could be very close to tying another daily record. The only kind of change we'll see is a change in our rainfall department. We will start to see some very low end rain chances, but hey, it's something. Be added back to the forecast beginning this weekend and into early next week.
Dang, usually breaking records is a good thing, so it feels weird not to be happy about it. But, you know, we just are gearing up for what is going to be a tremendously hot day. And heck, I guess, you know, summer's arriving on our door a little bit early this year. It is 7:10. Let's take a look around town. Happy Wednesday, y'all. It is hump day. We are pushing along. You can see very slowly but surely we are crawling along in those northbound lanes at Slaughter. No active crashes there, but we have had a couple hiccups so far this morning. And as we well know, it doesn't take much. Taking a look right now at Mopac and Anderson Lane. Good morning to our hardworking construction workers today. And you can see travel's getting by just fine there. We have a little bit of car trouble, but look at this. As far as crashes go, we are in pretty good shape. But as we all know, that can kind of ebb and flow as the morning goes on. Let's take a look, though, on Mopac right now, heading southbound. A little bit of car trouble approaching that North Shoal Creek area near Steck. So heads up for you there. Looks like we also have an incident southbound approaching that Riverside area. This is just on the service road, so we can certainly work with that, like I said. Let me not choke on myself here. And then in the northbound lanes on I-35, through Onion Creek. We had a crash a little bit earlier near FM 1327. That's cleared up. We had an incident near Slaughter. That is cleared up as well. So looking much better with our typical patches of stop and go moving in from South Austin. Let's take a look if you're coming in from Round Rock today. We've seen some minor slowdowns in the southbound lanes there, as you can see, coming in from Georgetown, but we're looking pretty good there. I was noticing some slowdowns over here in Leander. That is also cleared up a bit as well through that Whitestone area. So looking good. Cedar Creek, we've had some slowdowns with y'all. If you're approaching that Mustang Ridge area, also seeing some slowdowns on El Camino Real. And then Garfield, I've been noticing kind of a patch of slowdown approaching into that Del Valley area as well. And then, of course, we're still monitoring this reverse fire that's been going on in the Harper area. It doesn't sound like it's been impacting travel on 290, but definitely something to be aware of. And to be more specific, this is happening at Grand Oaks Drive, north of 290. The good news is they've been making a lot of improvements on it. At last check, it was 55% contained. But, you know, that fire danger is definitely something to keep in mind today. So don't be throwing cigarettes out the window, chains, all that. Please be mindful with this extreme heat as it's creeping in, Rob.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. It is now 7:12, and a middle school student from San Antonio is in custody for allegedly plotting a school shooting. His own mother is accused of providing him with the supplies to carry it out. Reporter Megan Reyna spoke with parents at that school in Texas.
This is where we keep all of our reserve fleet when a crew comes down to have.
Parents here are relieved yet disturbed after learning a student was arrested Monday. And according to an arrest warrant, his mother provided him with ammunition and tactical gear. 33-year-old Ashley Pardo is facing an aiding and commission of terrorism charge. The warrant states the child's grandmother reported him to police after she discovered multiple loaded magazines and improvised explosive device and a note about mass shootings in his bedroom. The warrant states the mom bought him the supplies in exchange for babysitting his younger siblings. This isn't the first time the child has been in trouble with the school. In April, he was caught researching a mass shooting on the school computer. He was then sent to alternative school but returned to campus back on May 8th. One parent we spoke to says she's grateful the grandmother spoke up.
I thank God and I thank her for that, because anything could have happened. You don't know. I could have lost my daughter. You know, a lot of other kids could have gone missing or shot, and teachers, and it's not right.
And investigators say the teen showed up to school Monday wearing tactical pants, a camo jacket, and a mask, but they eventually arrested him off campus.
Great situation right there. The largest firefighter union in the U.S. is demanding a federal investigation into companies that make fire trucks. Fire departments, including here in Austin, are concerned about skyrocketing prices and a nationwide backlog. Here's KVUE's Daryl Shaharan.
This is where we keep all of our reserve fleet when a crew comes down to have their apparatus worked on.
This reserve fleet of Austin fire trucks,
these are getting up there in age,
is older than what Assistant Chief Thayer Smith would like.
Right now, we are probably close to the max on most of our reserve fleet. You know, they're anywhere between that 12 and 15 year mark. Some of them getting right to that 15-year mark where it's time to transition them out.
Unless it's a ladder truck, which can be used for up to 20 years.
This model itself is a 2006 and 18 years. So we're within 2 years of this one being transitioned out completely.
Which sounds like a lot of time, but fire departments around the country are battling increased cost and a backlog of fire truck manufacturing. If things don't change, older, less reliable trucks will have to stay in commission longer. Smith says in 2019, ladder truck manufacturing and delivery took 17 months and cost about $1.2 million. For their most recent order of trucks, companies are estimating it will take 28 to 36 months to deliver, costing nearly $2 million.
Down the road, that if this continues, it could certainly impact us to where we don't have the available reserve fleet or reliable reserve fleet that we would prefer.
Manufacturers are blaming the delays and costs on inflation and labor shortages. Tuesday, the largest firefighter union in the U.S. sent a letter to the DOJ demanding antitrust authorities investigate these companies that make fire trucks, saying industry consolidation has led to this issue, and adding 3 companies make up 2/3 of the market. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren opened her own investigation, saying the consolidation is forcing taxpayers to bear the costs and is putting communities in danger.
We're still waiting on vehicles that we ordered, at the end of 2023 in the fiscal year 24 budget.
That was Darren Shaharian reporting, and Smith says despite all the calls for action, he does not see relief anytime soon. Well, it's now 7:16, and new upgrades coming to Austin ISD high schools. The district is celebrating the start of 2 new modernization projects. There will be renovations at Anderson High School and Northeast Early College High School International School. They're going to get modern upgrades to the buildings and their athletic fields. It's all part of a $2.4 billion bond package the voters approved back in 2022. It was the district's largest school bond package ever approved in Central Texas. And today, Texas DPS troopers will be out targeting drivers who do not follow the move over, slow down law. It's part of a special one-day operation involving several other states, including Louisiana and Oklahoma. The law says, hey, if you see emergency vehicles on the side of the road with their flashing lights on, you have to change lanes. If you cannot change lanes, you have to slow down to 20 miles an hour under the speed limit. And we've been talking about the heat, right? We know about the droughts. Well, those two together, not good for our water supply. And KVUE's been doing a lot of work digging into the Texas water issue in our series, Running Dry. Now in part 3, we're taking a closer look at what's happening in Hays County.
There's going to be less water available in the future. So the water we think we have now, I don't think we're going to have all of that in the future.
A longtime KVUE anchor Judy Maggio joins us with part 3 of our series Running Dry, available now on KVUE Plus. Download again and watch it free on your TV like you're doing right now. And we leave you this morning with something to talk about. Caught on camera, something I've never seen this before. A crazy tow on a Houston highway. Look at this car. Swerving in and out of lanes while an SUV was towing it. That car was backwards. Listen, our news partners in Houston learned the driver of the car called his girlfriend to help tow his car that was broken down. At some point, an axle broke, making the car impossible to control. Now, one witness said the guy was actually in the car while it was being towed. He even told our news partners what happened when they got out of the highway. Take a listen.
She was trying to talk to him, but he didn't want to hear nothing. He was like, you messed up my car, you effed up my car, you did this, you did that. I don't know who idea was to pull the car, from the back like that. Normally on a chain, you pull the car from the front, but that's my only thought. Why did they pull it from the back, especially on the freeway?
I have no idea. And why was there a person in the car being towed? What? All those tires are destroyed, my goodness. And there's a twist to the story. Neither driver given a citation for how they towed the car, but the man was arrested for an unrelated warrant out of state. Don't do that. Just please don't do that. Nobody was hurt, though. That's the best news. Well, that's it for Daybreak Plus. So let us know what you'd like to talk about, or if you have any crazy videos, send it to us, 512-459-9442. 512-459-9442. You can also message me on social medias if you want, at Rob Evans TV. On Instagram, Facebook, or X. And stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE Plus. Goodbye, everybody.